Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me at The Lonely Vine. Today I wanted to talk about aeration of your wines. Here you can see I have a decanter. I have a wine that's been aerating for about 4 hours now. I was actually reading an article a while back where the writer was talking about how they didn't feel that wine aeration held any merit. They thought that the reason a wine tastes better on the second glass is because you're starting to get intoxicated, and that aeration doesn't do anything. What aeration does is it's actually the oxidation of the wine. Wine, as most of you know, if you open up a wine, after a few days it's pretty much gone bad. That's oxidation. But what you need, especially in young tannic wines like Cabernet Sauvignon, which is what this wine is you need to soften those tannins out and open the flavors up. And that's what aeration can do. I left a little bit, but usually you'll have a decanter. It'll have some kind of funnel like this, and it'll just, as you pour it in, it spreads out. That wine, as you can see, it covers the whole base of it. As much wine as possible is touching air at that point, so it's starting to oxidize. Then you leave it sitting here for a few more hours and you should have a sufficiently oxidated wine or opened up wine. It also comes with a filter usually. That's for actually decanting a wine. And decanting a wine is, if you have an older red wine, you usually, or you won't usually, but sometimes you'll find sediment in the bottle, and pouring it through the filter, or in the old days they would hold a candle or some kind of light source up to it as they poured it out, so they could see when the sediment was getting to the edge, and then they'd stop. That's decanting. Aeration is just using the vessel to allow the oxygen to open the wine up. So what I wanted to do is actually have 3 glasses here, and I have the bottle which was opened, but nothing's been done to it, so we'll try this one. I also have one of the many tools that are out there for quick oxidation of your wine. This is the Venturi. It's just got a funnel on the top. It has a couple little tubes on the side that force the oxygen into the wine as it comes out the bottom. So I'll use this as well for a quick oxidation. I'm making a lot of mess here. And then we have the wine that's been aerating for 4 hours or so. So these are the same wine, obviously. The only real difference here is that one has been decanted, aerated for 4 hours, one has just been done using a tool, and one hasn't been at all. So I will try to sit here and talk. This is probably making a lot of noise, and I'll keep busy talking to you, and hopefully then I'll have no idea where anything is. It's my own little shell game here, and I have no idea where anything is now. So, all right, so I will get started here. Actually, when you're swirling it like this, you're actually doing a little bit of oxidation as well. Okay. Now, already just by smelling them, I have an idea of what's what. And you're kind of getting a little poker tour here. As I'm holding it up, I've got my own little letters here to tell me what's what at the end. So just by smelling alone, I would say that this wine here is the one that was not aerated at all. And the reason is because It's pretty tight on the nose, and this is the one that I smell the most alcohol on the nose. So because of that, I would say that this one hasn't gone through any aeration at all. This one, you don't smell the alcohol at all. You smell the fruit. I have to go to the taste for this one. What a shame. So with this one, you can see me puckering a lot. There's a lot of stringency to it. It's definitely a young cab, so I'm feeling pretty confident that this is the one that has not gone through any aeration at all. Really astringent. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's just been opened and poured, so I would expect that out of a young cab. This is a 2007 Cabernet. Much softer. The tannins are still there, but they're not as overpowering. I get a lot more of the fruit coming through. These are two completely different tasting wines. And it's very obvious that this one has gone through aeration and this one has not. But between which one's been mechanically aerated and which one's been decanting aerated, okay, with this one, it has a little bit more astringency than this one. The fruit comes through a little bit here. The wine tastes, just overall it tastes better, just a little bit than this one. So I'll say this one has had no aeration. This one has gone through the decanter and been aerated for 4 hours. And this one has gone through the mechanical aeration, if you will, through the Venturi. I will say the differences between these two are still drastic, so let's see if I'm right. So this first one has an N, so it had no aeration at all. This one is the D, so that one has gone through the decanter, and this one should have a V. So it went through the Venturi. So luckily, my experiment came out as expected. I was actually pretty impressed by this little Venturi. If you're in a situation where your last minute had to open up a cab or a Merlot or Tempranillo, any of the other wines that typically require a bit of aeration, this would be a very viable tool to use. But nothing beats, the good old decanter. Plus, it looks good. It's fun to pour from, etc., etc. So there you have it, person that didn't think aeration meant anything. I have proven you wrong, as much as you want to believe what I do. So thank you for joining me today, and we'll look forward to seeing you the next time.